All right, so I got cut off on the last video, and I'm working with what I got. I've tried different RAM sticks for the computer and a graphics card, so forth, just to make it workable, and it doesn't like it. And then the memory on this, and like I said, the double screen, like it started working and then it didn't. So I computers and me do not get along. For whatever reason, they definitely haunt me. So I want you guys to look at this, and this is the Chicago World Fair 1893, and they said that this is all temporary. And I want you to really understand the magnitude of how massive this project or this building was. And they said it was built in record time. And then you can see that it's been here for a while, and this was definitely not built at record time. And this is definitely not plaster because this is stone. And you look at all of these figures and stuff. I mean, to mold that all out of plaster, no, I don't think so. And then not only that, they inscribed, not only did they inscribe our faith, about the truth shall set you free, and not only did they inscribe about the pioneers and the religious liberties, and they talked about the last 400 years of peace, 400 centuries of religious tolerance, and that's what this is inscribed on. And so the other one I want to point out is this is inscribed. If they were this, there's no way they would have done this in plaster and then inscribed it like this. And that's what I'm trying to show you is the lies through our history. And you can look at the block, you can see the lines where the block actually is. And these photographs are, hard to come by. And I have this on my drive. This is actually from the Denver Library. So I wanted to cover that and get you squared away, or get me squared away and get you squared away on trying to put our history together. And I want you also too to look at these light poles. And this was supposed to be state of the art when they put this in. It was all temporary. This was brand new lighting that, Tesla was testing out. So when I tell you this is all connected, and you guys really have to understand our history is not what they've told us, and whoever was the conqueror decided to rewrite our history, and I'm going to keep showing that because that's the path that I've been chosen. So that's where we're at, and let's keep going down this, and I'll prove that history is an absolute lie. So like I talked about in the other videos, all of the historical pictures that I've gathered are all from reputable historical websites like the Denver Library, Wikipedia. So now I'm going to show you how I know that this was laid out in front of me. I just had to follow it, and someone was guiding my direction. With all the excuse me, with all the photographs and stuff, I've linked all of them. This one didn't get highlighted. Sorry about that. I just want to cough, and I can't be doing that. Not now. This is so important that we get this shown to the world, and that way we can start making some headway with our world, and we can show them. But I'm going to tell you right now, there are two groups: the people that know about this and the people that don't. I was one of the ones that did not know about this. I'm the one that had to do the research and to open up doors and to look at our history and to go back and look at all of the United States history. And basically the 1800s, late 1700s is when America really started having problems. And especially with the money system, that was definitely control. And so when you look at what has been transpired through American history, you can easily see how our country's been sold and divided up. This picture is on our Central City, and I said last time it was in slide. I apologize for that. There's so much information that I'm trying to cover and think about because I don't know what to give you guys to show you guys what I'm seeing. That there's no way they could have built what they did in the time frame with the materials and what was built. Beautiful stone buildings, even still used today. They even said most of these buildings are still standing today in Central City. And then the other one I looked up is these clocks that are all over the place. When you go back and look at the old world, you can see these clocks hanging on every building. I'd really like to see one of these, historical one, and see a couple of these, because I know they're still existing. Because if you ever watch that show, um, oh, what is it called? Man in the High Castle. and you look at what they're doing with American history, that they're selling it on the black market and they're trading it, and and they're that's the thing, they sold America on this story of how our history was. But I'm already proving to you that our history is not what they told us, because they didn't get the train till 1872. So how did they get this brick up here? I mean, they couldn't take it up with, you know, wagons, and that would have been four-wheel driving up and down, grades, and going over boulders and rocks until they actually got a road maintenance enough where it was smooth enough. And you have to think about that. This is the Colorado Rockies. This is where rocks are born. So I've dug in this stuff, and you have to take a pick, because you got basically river rock mixed in with like sand and other rocks, and it is absolutely miserable trying to dig with a shovel. And you have to pick at it and kind of work your way through it. And until you experience that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're trying to lay whatever, the road from where I used to live, it used to take me 40 minutes to drive to Blackhawk every day. And that was from leaving the north end of Denver. And I would, I'd arrive early in the morning, and then we'd work 10-hour days, so that way we weren't burning up so much gas and drive time going up to the hotel and when they had us build it. And like I said, when you understand God's in this, then you understand, like, we have hope. And hopefully that's what we can bring to the earth. And maybe I can enlighten people to show that our history has been lied to us. And we are not exactly what they told us. Because you have to think about the fire in 1874 would have burned all of this down, from what the historical records show. And then once again, how did they get the brick up here? There's no mention of a brick plant. I looked in the blueprints. And if you go to the Sunborn maps, those are a huge way to look up what buildings were built and so forth. The lowest one I can get is in 1883, and I believe I have it in Pueblo and Canyon City. And those are the two that I got at the lowest in 1883. And then if you go through those plans, they're going to show you how we had all this electrical power basically before 1890, which would pretty much be impossible, because if you think about it, they barely got the light bulb working in 1893 for the Chicago World's Fair, and then yet have to wire the entire state of Colorado. Where did they get all the electricians and wire and materials in order to do it all? And the knowledge, because you have to have trained electricians to install it. You can't have any jackass just swinging a hammer. And that's why they have electrical license today. But I'm going to tell you right now, our history, our architect, was all taught by the same all across the world. It was solid one unity teaching, because you can't build like this in the United States and then go over to Europe and find the exact same stuff, and go to Japan and go to Australia, go to Africa, and you're going to find similarities with the block design and then the time periods, because you could tell different time periods by the buildings and what was built and when and how. And so I've gone through all of it. I've proven this. I know exactly what I figured out. And yeah, it's on. I'm here to fight for the truth, and I don't give a fuck. It's wartime to get the truth out, and hopefully brothers and sisters will stand up for the truth. Because if this is a picture of Central City in 1874, which would literally be impossible to have all this built, basically when you were doing nothing in 1859. And let's really look at the calculator on this to make sure you guys are seeing the time span. All right, we got the double calculator again. Okay, so 1859 minus 1874. 15 years. 15 years to come in and lay all the plumbing down, plus the sewer lines, do all the electrical, because most of these buildings, they didn't have to be rewired again. All in the original build. And I could tell you we had harmony in our teaching. And then like this building in Denver, you could see where they modified it. There's two different stones here. So this is what they would do, is they'd come back in and modify buildings to say that that's the urban renewal or so forth, like they always preached after the Civil War, after the destruction of all of America. And then I'm going to tell you, they ran the cities into the ground. And we've been here a lot longer than they're telling us. Here's a picture of Central City, the beginning of it. And it tells you in 64, And I also have it here where it's also telling you it was 64 in this too. All these registered historical records, and they're right there for you guys to see. The pharmacy. This is one building that I chased through Central City is because they had this one available. Like all of them have their unique little weird deals, but this one for some reason copied this pharmacy, and I guess it's one of the oldest pharmacies in Colorado. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is all of this what they've told is all these bullshit stories, and nobody's never looked at them all and put them all together and realized that that's just a fucking bullshit story out of everything. And so that's what I'm here is to show the bullshit story. Go through their history, show you what they had for materials and equipment available. And then why would you alter pictures? And I can tell you that this picture's been altered with the flags and the stars. And if you go up here and look at these are all whited out. And then these are weirded star patterns. Like there's way more than there should be in a normal flag. So you could tell that they're covering it up. Plus, I covered in other videos where they use Sharpies to blot out flags and to show the different times that in history. And I showed you that in Colorado and Denver, especially. Denver has been there for a very long time. So I'll continue with the next video, and we'll get this show on the road today. Because it's fucking D-Day today. We gotta fucking go at it and let them know that we know the fucking truth. And I have the evidence. Share it. Because when people really start to see what I'm putting out, they're going to understand that we've been lied to about a lot of fucking things. So, sorry for the language, but it's go time.